Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of Bitcoin Trade. In this episode, I'm gonna start off with a chart analysis, and from there, I'm gonna go to a news article or an interview. But let's start with the chart analysis here first. I'm sure majority of you are watching are really into that, so let's get started. So, in my previous episode on chart analysis, I mentioned how it's very important that a few things happen. That the two averages cross over. Also, that it finishes above the, I believe this is the 25 period average, and this is weighted. I believe it's estimated weighted or whatever, EMA. I don't know what that stands for. Estimated moving average, I guess. I guess in some ways it's a weighted average. So not only must these two cross over, but it also the price must finish above the 25 period average, and it must finish higher than the last high. Well, you got all three of these things happening, and a matter of fact, it's actually even reached a price of 400, which is slightly higher than this. So if it's given it more time, if it goes higher than that, then now you got one, two, three, four confirmations of a buying signal. So it's Monday. It's a holiday in America, so the banks were closed. But a lot of price action was going on. Now, I'm assuming that because the banks were closed, maybe that might have something to do with the rise in price because no one could buy Bitcoins and then sell them off, right? Buy Bitcoins, go to the bank, buy your Bitcoins, and then go out to the exchange and start selling them off, and then whatever. Uh, I guess some people took this opportunity to go get some Bitcoins and not sell them. And so you got four confirmations of a pretty good buy signal here, at least on a 12-hour chart. But I think the reason I use a 12-hour because I think that gives you the most earliest signs of buying or selling signals. If you go any lower than that, I think 6, 12, or I mean 6, a 4, or 2, or 1, it's too much noise to get a really good positive buying signal or selling signal. If you pull back a little bit more, if you do, it depends how long term of trade you do, but I find that right now 12-hour works really great. So that's kind of what I've been using. And so if you look at this chart analysis really quick, it's kind of been doing everything that I've mentioned before in my previous episodes of a reversal in the trend. And so if you feel like you missed out and you know, a lot of times you may see something like this and you may buy up here and then the price goes down and falls down. You know, that does happen too. Another thing you might want to do is you know, you could take a chance here. I mean, considering that how far it's gone down, and this could be the support area around 300, and it's already up to 400, you can take a chance and go ahead and buy. Another option is to put some stops at the bottom of here where it might have just picked up before it goes, because there's typically after it goes there's some retracement and then it'll go back up again. So just in case, sometimes you might have a seller come by and just see the price has gone up and just do a market order and drive that price back down, only to have it go back up, you know. So putting some limit orders around 350 or bottom or somewhere right around here, or maybe even where it crossed over might be a good idea, or at the actual 25 period average, or actually at the 10 period average at the bottom right here. So you can put some buy orders there. Be kind of selective on where you want to put your limit orders. Other than that, if you have whatever exchange I'm on. This is Bitfin on 12-hour. Ooh, looks like it's gone over 400, which is a really good positive sign. So it's heading up against I think a 400 is in a resistance. So let me just move the cursor here just a little bit to give you an idea of uh, right here. So it's obviously broken above this last high, which I mentioned that this would be the new recent high, and it's finished above it and going over. Now this high has become the resistance. So if you look, this high was a resistance and it bounced up here for a while and then broke through, and now this high is becoming a resistance, and now it's hitting up against that. And if it goes above that, then that's a fifth confirmation. And then this other line right here at 450, that's the sixth confirmation. I mean, once you start getting these, then these resistance becomes their support, and as well as here. So if you keep track of this, you could start seeing, you know, how the advance in the trend going upward is going to unfold. The other option, if depending on what exchange you're on, now Bitfin does allow you to do a stop order or stop limit, a buy stop limit. So you can actually set your buy orders around here or around here, and that's called a breakout. Now you're switching strategies. So now you're going from a downtrending strategy to an uptrending strategy. So instead of maybe looking to average cost going down, you might want to consider breakout strategies where you'll have a stop buy order, your stop buy limit at these resistance, because when it hits and you're playing a momentum where you're playing a trend going up, you want to start buying when it gets to here, and it'll push that price up, and it'll just knock all these going up because your buy order cancels any of these orders, causing a push up, if that makes sense. And so you may not even see them, or even notice them. So that's another thing to do, and it's called a breakout strategy, where it's breaking out of this resistance, or breaking out and up into an uptrend. And so that's some other strategy you're doing. So or whatever you want to do. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud and speaking out loud, and you know, you could take advantage of what's going on and understand that there might be a shift in the trend. So you have to change your strategy, because if you're still trying to do some average cost buying, like I was doing on the way down, well, your orders are never going to get hit because it's trending up. And so you're thinking, well, I'm just going to wait for it to dip, but it never really dips. And so when it hit up here, I had some limit orders here, and they never hit. And I noticed that. I said, wow, the limit orders never hit, because I had them at below here, thinking that it would hit and maybe come down. Well, if it didn't, of course, you know, I already have my amount of Bitcoins that I'm happy with, so it didn't hit my limit orders, and so it continued to go up. Then I noticed, well, now I got to start changing strategies because I'm missing out on the uptrend movements. And it kind of sucks when you miss out on that, because in hindsight everything's 2020. Remember, like, you pull back, oh, I should have just sold here and just patiently waited all the way up to this point and bought like a, you know, 30,000 Bitcoins here, and now I'm enjoying the nice uptrend here. So anyways, don't beat yourself up. You know, if you missed it now, don't worry. If you're still playing the game of trying to pick up on the dips, you can still do that. It's just that you're not gonna enjoy the up movement before it dips down. Okay, and it may never dip down. So that's the risk you take when you don't recognize the changing trend. You're playing a wrong strategy. So So just keep that in mind. That's what I'm trying to say. Just understand that it may be changing, and so you have to start changing your strategy if you want to be involved in the trade, because if it never hits your order, well, you're never gonna trade, okay? And so and at this point, you may want to take some educated risks, all right? And so don't be afraid to make a trade if you feel a certain way, okay? Or don't trade. I mean, if you're really uncertain, you're not sure, sometimes it's best not to trade at all. So anyways, that's my chart analysis here. I wasn't expecting advances like this until like maybe Wednesday, but it's still early in the week, so Wednesday's still going to come around. I think if you're still not sure, or if you're still a little hesitant, you could wait till Wednesday and see what happens on Wednesday. But well, today's Monday, so when I say Wednesday, I mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, 2 more days waiting. But if you've that's if you're watching this as I put it out. If you haven't subscribed, and you're not keeping up to date with me, this is just a good learning tool for people who are going to watch this after the fact, and maybe you can learn something. Learn how to trade. Um, so, anyways, this is the end of the chart analysis. I think it's really plain and simple. If you've seen my previous episodes, you've already bought, and you already know that this is um, was going to go up in price. And that's why you bought at the lower price. So, or you bought probably right around here, and you're enjoying this nice price move up. So this is the end of this chart analysis. Let me go on to the news article that I want to talk about, and you probably think I'm some kind of, you know, I don't know if any women are watching, but women will probably think I'm some kind of dog for bringing this up. But I have other reasons for bringing this up. Okay, and Cointelegraph did this article here about, and I have never seen this or heard of this until now. But apparently there is a woman who does Bitcoin news, um, and during the news strips, proof of strip, I guess is what she's calling it. Anyways, that's her, and there is a paid subscription which you can just watch it uncensored, and then there's also, you can watch on YouTube or Venmo, or not Venmo, Vimo, and watch it censored. All right, and the reason why I bring this up is it's not because I'm some horny old man or anything like that. I really don't think I'm that old, and um, you know. Anyways, that's what she looks like. There's another picture of her here, and the reason why I bring this up, and you can read the interview, is I often talk about absolute free will, absolute, and it seems at times that um, when I say absolute, I really do mean absolute free will. And if somebody wants to do a Bitcoin news and strip while giving the Bitcoin news, that's totally her absolute free will to do so. And showing and sharing your body, um, that's her choice. Absolute free will. Is it morally right? I'm not here to make that judgment. Okay. Um, I'm not here to do any of that. I'm just trying to say is she has absolute free will, and it's her right to do so. Freedom to express, a right to express, and a right to free speech. And it may not be, what people think it is, but it's not your place to make that call, in my opinion. Okay. And the other reason why I'm talking about this article, not because uh, this woman is stripping while talking about Bitcoin and giving the news. It's because I think a lot of people who see this, especially probably women, other women who see this, are just like the regulators and the lawmakers, and to some degree, some prosecutors and law enforcement. They'll look at this and say, what she's doing is illegal, right? And then you'll put your personal morals into something that should have nothing to do with your personal morals. All right? Uh, it you know she is just like you and I or anybody else. She is protected under the law. Okay, she's protected to do this. She has every right to do it, and no entity can abridge her rights to do this. Absolute. And she's just exercising her absolute rights. But I could already tell. I already tell by looking at this, like, oh yeah, I know people right away are gonna look at this and just say what she's doing is wrong. Someone should stop her, right? And that's not the case. That's not the case. This woman has absolute right to do what she's doing, and no one can stop her. No one can make her stop. She's doing this to herself. She's doing it for her own benefit. So just like Bitcoins, if you are trading Bitcoins and you're doing it for your own benefit and not the benefit of others, or making other people do this for your benefit, what she's doing is perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with what she's doing. And that's why I'm talking about this, because I already know right away when people read this, or they'll watch it or whatever, they'll just make a judgment and say she's wrong. What she's doing is illegal. And just like what I do, and I can kind of I feel like I can relate to what she's doing, because uh, you know uh, if you trade Bitcoins, there might be some entities out there that feel that you're doing something wrong. You're a terrorist. You're money laundering. You're a criminal. You're whatever. You're structuring. You're all this other bullshit. Banks close your accounts. Um, People stop working with you. I recently had where my attorney, one of my attorneys said, you know what, I've reconsidered our relationship. I don't want to be your lawyer. Although I have not broken any laws, I have made it clear what I'm doing. I've shown that what I'm doing is perfectly legal. It just makes people uncomfortable, and they put your morals and judgments uh, before the law. The laws that are supposed to be blind and fair. And so that's why I'm talking about this. And you know, although she is very, very sexually attractive. All right, let's take some more pictures. I know a lot of guys must be watching some of my shows, so they're probably like, go back to the other picture. All right, there you go. All right, um, but it's her body. It's her body, and it does mention she is a model, and she does other things of that. So, and it's her choice to do this, and she's has no problem doing it. So, and that's kind of why I'm talking about this particular article, because it's sometimes I feel what I'm doing, uh, a lot of people don't understand. And they don't understand what it means to stand up for yourself and to exercise your rights. And if this is for your benefit, then what? There's nothing wrong with what this woman is doing, and I feel that way. And I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that, but um, I'm going to give you a man's point of view. If any women are watching, uh, not all women are objects of desire. All right. I'll tell you right now, there's a whole bunch of women that I have no desire to ever have sex with. All right, so don't just think because there's one really beautiful woman that now all women are objects of desires. No, this particular woman is an object of desire. But and the reason I say that is because if you scroll down here, and I think this is just hilarious. Uh, this I'll just zoom in a little bit here, but it's supposed to be another bit chick, but if you really look at it, it almost looks like another bitch. I'm, just, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anyone, but it's just you gotta have some fun, all right? You gotta just laugh, all right? Just laugh, all right? Life's too fucking short, and she does in the interview she does mention that she's not gonna look like this forever, and she knows that. Okay, these women they're not stupid, they're not dumb. Um, they're pretty smart, all right, and they know that their beauty is only so deep. They're just capitalizing on it. And okay, another. It's. I don't mean to make another pun, but I just can't. I just gotta say this. But she has the assets to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just having some fun here, but she has the goods to do this. All right, and I think when other women see this, they get highly offended, not because of what she's doing, because she's way more hot than you are, if there's any woman watching. So there's always some jealousy going on, but anyways, if you read the comments here, this is kind of one of the reasons why I mentioned this is that you know people talk, and I kind of I understand what it feels like to be ridiculed or something for making a video, and um, people talking shit to you all the time and everything. Have you seen my last episode where I give you my personal experience? I talked about how I got into Harbor Freight tools a lot because they're so cheap, and man, I never had tools. I never worked with tools in my life, so I wanted to learn new skills and do all this, and I did. All I had to do was buy the fucking tools, and all of a sudden I became a master mechanic. Just watch a couple YouTubes, do some research, and voila, I fixed my truck. All right, um, and I understand what it feels like to be ridiculed for making a video and wanting to share it with everyone. And there are just some people out there, all they do is just talk shit. They're just a bunch of shit talkers. And at the end of the day, they talk about all this bullshit, and what do? Nothing. They do absolutely fucking nothing. They don't change the world in any way. All they do is just talk shit. They're just a bunch of shit talkers. And I understand how that feels, because people talk shit to me all the time when I made those videos, and I did it on like a Harbor Freight tool site, or like that, and these were a bunch of men, right, who didn't really appreciate what I did, and they hated me for it. Well, when it comes to like tools and stuff, men are kind of like that. Like a woman is when they see another woman, and that woman's like drop dead gorgeous, and all the other men are just looking at that particular woman, not even looking at you if you are a woman. Um, you know, uh, to say that there's no bias with the different sexes is not true. There is, you know. So that's why I bring this up, because and this person has a, making fun of another bitch here, but you know, it's makes a good point. It's freedom, it's liberty until you disagree with it. And when you disagree with it, now it's not about freedom and liberty. It's it's sad to see that this is how women are portrayed. They're objects of desire. Well, beautiful women are objects of desire. Okay, but an ugly woman is not. And if you noticed, I don't mean to be offensive in any way, but I, I noticed the women who are doing these naked news shows. Well, they're showing their faces and their body, right? And this particular woman also has a picture of her, obviously. Um, but the one that complains a lot and talks a lot of shit, because in my personal, I'm a man, okay, and I'm also married, okay, if you all want to know. But I've noticed women have, and I don't mean to be offensive to women. It's just my opinion, okay. Don't hate me for it. All right, just hear me out. Um, Women have a tendency of talking a lot of shit, especially to the man, you know, and sometimes it just gets on my nerve. Anyways, but if you notice, there's no picture of another bitch here, and nor is there another picture of Bitcoin girl. Now, why is that? Uh, well, don't worry. Not all women are objects of desire. Okay, not all. All right, just the ones that are really are objects of desire are objects of desire. And you think they're stupid or silly, but they're smart, because they just get everybody else to do all the work for them. Now, if you don't have the goods and you don't have the assets, well, then you got to work on something else. And first, you might want to first start on your attitude. That helps out a lot. Just to give you an FYI 401 to all those women out there who are definitely complaining about this. So, anyways, this is my opinion, and the reason I talk about it is it does relate to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is absolute free will, and I accept that. I accept that. There's nothing wrong. I'll just go back to the pictures. I know you guys want to see the pictures there. There's nothing wrong with this. All right, there's nothing wrong. I accept what she's doing as being of her own free will, and actually I respect her for doing that, because it takes a lot of courage to expose yourself. I mean, you're literally bearing yourself to the world. It takes courage to do that. I mean, I could tell you, I probably couldn't do what she does. Um, I couldn't, I'm just too embarrassed of my physical body. So I have to respect that. Okay, I have to respect that. That takes a lot of confidence in yourself, in your body, in your self-esteem. Sometimes it's not even about your body, it's just your self-esteem. Okay? How you think of yourself. So read the interview. I think it's very interesting, and although probably most of you will think I'm only talking about it because she gets naked, and I've never seen any of her videos, right? But I did want to talk about it because it seems to be a double standard, both for men and women when it comes to certain subjects. And I want people to know that absolute free will and absolute rights, well, it's absolute. And if you can't accept that, then maybe Bitcoin's not for you. Okay, maybe maybe freedom is not for you. Maybe enslavement, being a slave, is what you are really. Because there are some people out there, you know, they think they're free, but they're not. They're enslaved, and they'll always be enslaved. They'll act like they're free. They'll walk around like they're free, but when it comes time to, you know, reveal yourself, to really show your proof of stake, in her case, a proof of strip, they're nowhere to be found. And they're the shit talkers. That's all they do. That's the only thing they're really good at, talking shit. And I've come across that as a virtual entity on forums before. People just talk a lot of shit, but when it comes time to show your proof of stake, you don't have anything. You got nothing to prove. You got nothing to show. So, anyway, that's why I did this episode. But it is an interesting article. I don't know. Maybe I will watch one of her videos. I probably won't pay. I'll watch the free ones, what she does have, and I like to hear some of her news and maybe some of her ideas and thoughts. There's nothing wrong with what this woman is doing. Okay. So, anyways, feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment. Maybe I'll probably get a lot of comment from women or maybe some men. Who knows? And leave a video response if you want to. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.